Okay, so I'm going to step you through what you need to do for your next assignment. So under Values and Justice is Theme Park Assignment Part 3. You can see here that it's got two documents. It's got the document itself plus the rubric. So let's have a look at the instructions. All right, this has got multiple parts to it. So I'm going to be really clear about what's group work and what's individual work. So in your groups, you will work out which one of these is the event that's happened in relation to building your park. All right, so you pick one of these issues. If you have an inspired person in your group and they want to go for the inspired level, then they actually have to come up with their own issue and let you know what that is and make sure that you guys are all happy with it. But it's that they've got to have that original idea. So as a group, you decide on which one of these it is that you are going to address, all right? And we're going to be looking at values and justice in relation to these. Then what you have to do, I'm not going to worry about part B yet, let's keep on part A. Down here for part A is a template of questions. So using this template, in your group, you would write down some answers together. I would suggest in your group, you actually have your Chromebook open in front of you, and as a group, as you're talking about it, you take your own notes against these questions. So each of you would have your each of you would have a copy of your own notes from the discussion in your group about addressing these questions. So you answer all these questions in your group, all right? So you make sure you have a chat and you work out which solutions you like, pros and cons, all that sort of stuff. And you do a lot of this in your group. I'll give you time in class for this. Then as an individual, you work out which one of the solutions you think is the best solution. And then what you do then is you write a Texas paragraph about that, your perspective of why you think that's the best solution. Okay, using all the information you've gathered in your group. So this is group work, this bit is individual work, and it must be handed in individually. All right, but I've given each of you a copy of this, so you've got a copy of this so you can fill it in as you go. Then on part B, you all come back together after you've written your Texas paragraph, and hopefully then you'll have all worked out which solution is the best one. So once you've worked out what solution you're going to have to the issue, you then have to sell it to the rest of the class, okay? And you're going to use 3 different ways of doing that. So you're going to have a digital solution, a digital presentation, or a way of digitally promoting your park. You're going to have a poster, and then what you're going to do is stand up and present these to the class, and then you're going to have a mock interview of people in your group who have just seen the advertisement in pretend, and then what they think about the park. So all of this will be done in front of the class as we did before with the round tables, but it won't be as long as the round tables. So we'll get through them fairly quickly, probably only in a lesson. But you do have to do each of these in your group. Now you might decide in your group to divide the responsibilities. So you might have some people working on the poster and some people working on the digital promotion of your park. For the groups that are particularly small, I know I think I've got one pair. We might have a talk about whether you have to do all 3 of these. All right, so then we do the group presentation. Then individually, we will be doing in our class, we will be doing what's called preferential voting. And we will do preferential voting for the final park selection. And so the whole class will actually vote. Now, that means though, is that you will be exercising justice by not voting on your own park. Now, what that means is that when we do the preferential voting in our class, you're not allowed to vote for your own park, but I'm doing it on honesty. I'm not going to have, the ballots will be anonymous, all right? So that's how we're going to do it, and you vote individually. All of this is going to happen in week 5. So all of this stuff is due Monday, week 5, and then you'll be presenting to the class in week 5, and then we'll be voting in week 5. There is part 4, but before we get to part 4, let's return to the classroom space because there is this second document here, which is the rubric. Okay, so you need to carefully read through the rubric and make sure you address it. You can see here that this is actually how you address various questions in that template and in your the way you present to the class and in relation to the paragraph that you write. Okay, so we need to make sure that you're very clear about which part belongs which, but that is also why you all need to fill in that template. So even though it's a group discussion, you're taking your own notes about the group discussion in that template because you are marked individually on that. Okay, so just be really conscious of that.